If you followed that first heard, you might know this guy here, Dan Wootton. Dan Wootton wrote some pretty bad things about Johnny in The Sun, false allegations. Turns out, Johnny got, let's just say, disinvited to some franchises like Pirates, Fantastic Beasts, because of these allegations. Funny thing is, not so long ago, maybe a year or something, Dan got allegations out against him. And Dan got canceled from just about everything he was on, Mail Online, GB News, just to name the big ones. But the funny thing is, it was obvious the same thing happened to Dan, but Dan never apologized until recently. One time recently, just a few days ago on Megyn Kelly, and one time on X in some video, and now he's launching a YouTube channel in which he has a video about an apology to Johnny Depp, less than 24 hours old. He's got like 2,200 subs right now. You'd think he'd get more, but alright. Looks like he's not quite the personality he thought he was. So let's take a little look here. Here you see it. Dan Wootton, why I want to say sorry to Johnny Depp. It doesn't even have 1,000 views. Hopefully, you guys could help get this video over like 1,000 and beat out Dan's actual video. Alright, just being silly. What do we got? And I must say, I do agree with what Dan's saying. It's just not actually about him. He's pointing out a problem that is a problem, but also kind of claiming that he's now somebody who's trying to remedy that problem, which is that journalists don't admit when they're wrong, and they don't. As he puts it, they don't admit when they've gotten things horribly wrong. But he didn't admit that about Johnny. What he said was, he's sorry he got involved. He didn't say, I'm sorry I accused Johnny of abuse. I'm sorry I got it wrong. Johnny did not abuse Amber. He just said he's sorry he got involved. So while he correctly points out this problem, that's something anyone could have done. I'm pretty sure I've mentioned it a few times. Probably some other YouTubers you watch mentioned it a few times. It's common sense.
One of the biggest issues in the mainstream media today is that so few players are prepared to admit when they got something horribly wrong.
Exactly. Fine, I agree.
Today, I finally get the opportunity to do just that. I have stayed silent for many years on Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard, despite ending up an unwilling party in the former Hollywood golden couple's bid for mutual destruction in a British courtroom. With 5 years of hindsight and a changed personal outlook thanks to my own MSM cancellation, I now admit that I should never have got involved in the carnival of commentary on the catastrophic breakdown of Johnny's relationship.
Fine, but that's not what we care about. Nobody cares that Dan says he apologizes for getting involved. What we care about him saying is that he now sees that his article was wrong and Johnny is not a WB.
Having spent the last 6 months battling deranged lies from an abusive ex designed to destroy my career through a social media campaign supported by a leftist criminal working for the fantasists at Byline Times, I know how difficult it can be to defend yourself.
Fine. So he says it's difficult for Johnny to defend himself. Doesn't really mean much. We knew that also. And then Dan says he was cleared by 2 police investigations, which is fine. I gotta take that at face value. Generally, I don't try to debunk the police. If something comes out that they were wrong, if it gets real detailed, maybe. But I'll take that at face value. And I admitted the Byline Times didn't really have that final nail in the coffin to prove Dan did it. So fine on that. It was left a little bit open-ended. But honestly, it doesn't matter. Because it was never about truth. It was about the fact that he got canceled for allegations in the same way Johnny did. And whether it was true or false wasn't the main point. He goes on to say it's unfortunate that Johnny dragged Amber to court, but he also sees how Johnny thought Johnny had no choice because Johnny thought he was innocent or something like that. It's a mashup of words, basically still not saying that he knows now or he thinks now Johnny's innocent, which is what he should be saying. And that would gain some respect back. With this half-assed BS, no respect getting back from anyone. If he clearly said, I now see the evidence. I admit it looks like Amber told some lies. Amber fabricated on the stand, point out the bad things. All right, I would have had to at least given him credit for coming out and saying that. But now, once again, it's just a mix of BS.
It's unfortunate that Johnny felt the need to drag her through these court cases, but I can now see that he saw no other way to declare his perceived innocence to the world.
There it is. His perceived innocence to the world. He can't just say that he thinks Johnny is innocent, like the jury, like about a couple of 100 million people. And he does make the point that we've been making here and on some other channels and platforms for like the last 4 or 5 years now, that these allegations need evidence and police cooperation first and not media attention. Thank you, Dan, for being so late to the party. And he says that believe all women is silly. I can't recall him saying that before this or at any other point in time until the stuff came out against him and he got canceled. And once again, he regrets that he got involved, which is not the apology people are looking for. And he does this very well. So that's the gist of it. I'm actually using his content to make my content. So to be fair, if you want to go over and subscribe, go ahead. I'm not liking it, but I'm showcasing his content for mine. So, all right. Shout out to Dan. From one YouTuber to another. I guess I am obligated to say good luck. But I can't say it's a good channel. I can't say you'll enjoy it. But I kind of have to say that. But am I making sense now? All right, maybe you get it. Anyway, he's got a couple of very linguistic acrobatic apologies out there. They kind of go in circles. He covers his ass as he talks with every sentence. I'm trying to think in any way, shape, or form if this is a positive thing towards Johnny. And not really. At least he acknowledges that he should apologize for something. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you're not subscribed here, consider it. If you don't, I'll be sad, but I'll get over it. See you next time.